normally split my videos up into part 1 and part 2, but I did have an appointment this morning, and so my timing just didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. So we're just going to pick up where we left off. We're going to pull from the Wandering Heart Oracle. That's the newest one that I've added to the collection. We pulled from it for the first time yesterday. The card we got yesterday was Mourning. That being said, I hope everybody's having a positive, productive day so far today. If not, I pray that your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High help you with that. I also pray that He clothes us in His armor from head to toe, that He strengthens our discernment and guides our steps as we go throughout this day. It started out as a rainy, gloomy morning in my area, but it's actually turned out to be a nice day. The sun is shining. It's a little humid, a little muggy, but it's still a beautiful day. So if you're having good weather in your area today, I want to encourage you to get outside and soak up some of the sunshine. All right, this is the Wandering Heart Oracle. We're just going to try for one of these. Happy Monday. Evil Eye, number 18. A lot of purple. That looks more like a moth than a butterfly. We did get moth in our animal spirit cards the other day. This is card number 18. Deception and intention. As much as we'd all love to believe that there is no one out there who has our worst interests at heart, it simply isn't true. Someone could be paying too close attention to your every move right now, even if they aren't vocal about it. Whether it be a stranger who follows you online or a person in close proximity to you, there are snakes hiding in the grass. We did get it in the upright position. You are spiritually covered. Animosity will not thrive here. Hello, happy Monday. However, take into account that you may not know your secret critic directly, and you may be sharing too much. You are giving too many details publicly to hate on. Hold back, think before speaking, and do not overshare. Keep both your wins and your losses to yourself. So, going back to what we pulled in the first half, if you're just seeing this, I ended up having to split my live into 2 parts. So the first part has already been posted. But this does go back to the creative expression and communication. We got 2 throat chakra cards this morning. So being aware of who you're communicating with, what you're actually communicating to those people. We did get Quiet Retreat with the Angel of Abundance deck. So, keeping things to yourself. Visualize abundance in all forms. Going back to how it kind of connected to the video yesterday, using your creativity in a positive way, but also keeping those creative projects to yourself. Whether we want to believe it or not, there are people out there, the old saying, misery loves company. People don't necessarily have to have a reason. Some people are just miserable and they don't want other people to be happy. But that being said, also, kind of not putting all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Don't self-sabotage to the point to where, you're basically giving your ideas to other people. Hello, hi there. I want work. Hello. Financial problems, when will it clear? You know, that may line up with the creative expression. We talked about that earlier this morning. Our angel numbers this morning were 7722, which is ask for help, 233, which is positivity, and 1515, which is self-care. You know, a form of self-care, especially with financial problems, it could be something as simple as just asking for help. You know, being seeking resources that you may not know are available. We did get the option card in our affirmations this morning. You know, there may be other options out there that you don't know are available. So, you know, reaching out and asking for help, reaching out for different services. I know that's going to be different depending on the areas that you're in. You know, different churches and different organizations offer assistance, but you have to, and don't forget about your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High. Going back to kind of what we talked about yesterday, being clear of your intentions, making a plan, visualize abundance in all forms. That is one of the Angel of Abundance cards that we got today. So don't have your mind so set on a plan. You know, it may not, the goal that you're wanting to accomplish, there may be other ways to accomplish that same goal, just not the way you originally envisioned it. All right, we got amethyst for our crystal of the day: vitality, balance, and sobriety. Ancient Egyptians discovered mines full of amethyst, sparking a craze for this crystal in Egypt's Middle Kingdom era. Amethyst is a beautiful stone. A lot of purple out here today. Purple represents your crown chakra. So also speaking about the connection with spirit. Purple can also represent royalty. Okay, now we'll get an Animal Allies card. Yesterday we got Owl from this deck, talking about wisdom, mental strength. Don't get ahead of yourself. You know, this morning we were talking about making a plan, setting goals, and we talked about it yesterday as well. Don't get ahead of yourself. Make a plan, but don't necessarily have it set in stone. We talked about not having expectations yesterday as well. Having a positive outlook. Unlimited ideas. We talked this morning, we did get the creation card as well. So writing down creation, lining up with unlimited ideas, lining up with asking for help. You know, you may have a lot of ideas. You may just need help putting those ideas into action. And like we talked this morning, a lot of times writing things down can help you do that. It can make it more concrete, but it can also help you form a plan. All right, let's get an Animal Allies card. What was that? Hummingbird wanted to show itself. And it came right back out. Hummingbird and flamingo. There's another one stuck to this. And turkey. So we got flamingo and turkey. We're just going to read the hummingbird. I just watched the movie last night. It's called Epic. It's an animated movie. And in that movie, the leafmen ride hummingbirds. All right, so that's interesting that came out. Hummingbirds are beautiful. They move super fast. Hummingbird superpowers: joy, receiving, sweetness, gratitude, good luck, accomplishing the impossible, overcoming limiting beliefs, beauty, childlike wonder, and love. Hummingbird wisdom, there is no benefit to playing small, and it's not possible to receive too much abundance. There will always be enough for everyone. When Hummingbird appears, celebrate yourself and the way you show up in the world. Be open to receiving all the sweetness life has to offer. What will you gift to yourself? Hummingbird wants you to know, expect more joy and ease soon. Open your heart and beat your wings. The world is ready for your unique brand of beauty and style. That very much goes with what we already had today. The positivity, loving. We did get self-care affirmations. We got a lot of self-care stuff this morning. So loving yourself enough to where you can share that love with the world. We've got self-acceptance, body, and clarity with our wild offering oracles this morning. When you love your body, when you accept your body, mind, spirit, soul as it is, when you embrace your creative expressions, it not only helps with your communication with other people, but it helps you share the hope and joy with other people as well. We did get hope with our Celestial Insight card this morning. Hope, joy, happiness. Tears may fall, but joy will come in the morning. You know, knowing that you're worthy of the self-love. Being open. We got a lot of heart chakra energy yesterday, and this really does kind of link with what we read yesterday. Being open to receiving love from others, kind of joining up with the ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes you don't even realize that there's somebody in your proximity that has exactly what you need. Whether that be a physical possession or some kind of emotional, spiritual support. Also, remembering to pray, talk to your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, the Most High. Retreat to your quiet place. We got that today in the angel affirmations, and we also got that energy yesterday as well about taking time to make a quiet place where you can go and gather your thoughts and make a plan and open your mind up to receive clarity, to receive answers. If we don't quiet our mind and quiet our surroundings, we won't hear those internal messages that are trying to come to us. Whether you want to call them messages from the divine, whether you want to call it your gut instinct, whatever you want to call it, if you're constantly distracted and constantly bombarded by outside influence, you're not going to hear, feel what your body's trying to tell you. Okay, now we'll get an animal spirit card. Yesterday, we got lion, peacock, and nightingale. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. You know, a lot of times we hold ourselves back because we lack confidence. And sometimes that's only in the way of not being able to communicate properly with the people around us to ask for help. Guilty as charged. You know, I've experienced that a lot in my life. You know, we struggle trusting the people that are around us, afraid that maybe, you know, they may look at us differently because we have to ask for help. But sometimes that's the best thing you can do, is ask for help. If you don't have a community of people that you can reach out to, you know, try to make it a point to find that. whether it's an online community or, something physically in your community. Our mantra for the morning was, I can do anything I want with my life within the legal limits of my country. No wasted days, no reason not to try. Wow, lion came back out. And then we got snake and elephant. Raccoon on the bottom of the deck, scorpion on the top of the deck. We won't read lion again because we just read that yesterday. But very interesting that it came back out. Let's see. Lion is fire energy. I'll read the highlights. Patient, regal, a complete master. And I did say something about royal when we saw the amethyst, the purple. So regal energy. When in balance, the epitome of peace and strength. When out of balance, too serious. To bring into balance, daily meditation and friendship. So there you go. Kind of confirming what I just said about the friendship. You know, if you're anything like me, you have a hard time making friends. Because, we struggle to trust people. Just because of the way the world is. But don't allow that to discourage you from asking for help. All right, elephant is also fire energy, unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom, as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. That's what we just talked about. The hummingbird card said the same thing, pretty much. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with light of self-knowledge. Wow. So going back to the body, self-acceptance, and clarity that we got with the Wild Offering Oracle, very much confirming that. When in balance, one-pointed focus, generous and loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. To bring into balance, trust. What were we just talking about? Trust. Trusting yourself, trusting your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, that they are there, guiding you, loving on you, maybe even trying to push you forward a little bit. All right, and then we got snake. I believe snake is earth energy. Yes. Guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that our creative life force lies dormant at the base of our spine. Base chakra, root chakra. Snake also represents the Kundalini. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke up to it? If you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. So kind of going back to visualize abundance in all forms, unlimited ideas, and quiet retreat. very much lining up with what we read yesterday as well. When in balance, prosperous, creative, and charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things. To bring into balance, Kundalini yoga and meditation. So double confirmation on the meditation. That just confirms what I told you about the Kundalini. Waking up to your untapped potential. Your creative expression, your communication. That is a form of self-love, and we got a lot of self-love out here this morning. Self-care, self-love affirmations, positivity. So we got a lot of that this morning. Loving yourself enough to embrace your creative expressions. Seeing both sides of the coin. Okay, now we'll get a herbology card. Yesterday we got valerian number 44, acceptance. We got lion's mane on the bottom of the deck as we're starting. It can be difficult to pull yourself out of that mind frame of self-doubt, feeling discouraged, feeling lack of hope, lack of ideas. That could also be a way to reference the quiet retreat. Yes, meditation and prayer, but also just a way to allow you a space to allow you to focus. I say it often, we really are we are more critical of ourselves than we are of other people most of the time. Keeping your options open. Not limiting, not restricting your path. Embracing change if change is required. Poppy and hibiscus fell out too. Joy. That very much correlates with the hummingbird card. The colors even, look at that. And it's even got a hummingbird in the picture. Look, hummingbird, hummingbird. And then poppy, 41, dream. So dream and joy. Hey, poppy. I don't know where that came from. What are those little memes where it talks about, are you trying to have more kids? Hey, Poppy, I'm just doing my job. That's what that made me think of. All right, number 41, Poppy, dream, upright, mystery of dream time, the great unknown, breaking addictive habits, releasing unhealthy relationships, and aligning to new intentions. The astrological ruler being Neptune and Saturn. The earliest references to poppies are found in the ancient land of Sumer, located in what is now Iraq and Kuwait. Sumerians grew poppies all the way back in 3400 BCE and cultivated the plant both for its medicinal and recreational use as opium. It was also called the joy plant. So joy coming up again, but I think it's funny that, okay, first of all, if you didn't know this, one of the many reasons why America invaded Iraq and Kuwait was because of the poppies. There's a whole hidden, government operated drug trade that a lot of people are oblivious to. But that's a lot of the reason why we invaded over there was because of the poppy fields. All right. The euphoria inducing plant quickly became a staple of cross continent trading. At first gained it first gained influence in Assyria and ancient Egypt. Eventually, it was one of the most important and profitable products being transported on the famous Silk Road across much of Asia. Civilizations rose and fell, but poppy remained in many traditions. By the early 1800s, this unassuming flower led to mass addiction and the Opium Wars. In 1806, morphine was isolated from the poppy and named for the Greek god of sleep, Morpheus, because of its sleep inducing properties. It was hailed as a godsend with its extraordinary ability to numb any pain, no matter how severe. Next came codeine, another powerful pain reliever. Pharmaceutical companies began to manufacture heroin from poppies. It was indeed a popular medicine for a long time before its addictive properties were brought to light. Now it's listed as one of the most harmful drugs in the world, even though to this day its raw material is used to manufacture dozens of pharmaceutical drugs. Boom. Drug war. That's the whole reason that's the whole reason we went over there at all, which I don't really understand that. I mean, we could grow poppies here, but nonetheless, I'm sure there's a bunch of details I don't know. Guidance. Poppy's piercing dual nature and history are closely representative to that of the devil card in the tarot. The devil represents the darkness of material obsession, addiction, and pursuit of false ideas for the sake of vanity and personal gain. The constructs of this reality, Saturn, have enabled a contoured darkness that does not belong to the soul signature of this divine flower, Neptune. Look deeper through the lens of her beauty to find that she embodies the mystical magic of the dream time, the place of unbound potential where we regenerate daily and commune with the divine. Be aware that excess and abuse of mystical powers or substances means that you'll likely end up lost in her dark labyrinth. Break the temptation and addiction to thought patterns and experiences that lead to escapism and empty intentions, and align to the light found within the mystical darkness found in the dream time. So that very much connects to what we read yesterday about being aware of not only your physical habits, but your mental habits as well. I'll read the summary of hibiscus. We won't read the whole thing. Upright is nectar, grace, sensuality, beauty, divine feminine, nurturing, creativity, and abundance. Astrological ruler is Venus and Pluto. The guidance, like hibiscus, you emanate the essence of Venusian grace. You hold and cradle life. You are the nurturer. Your presence brings renewal and joy to others. Express your creativity to keep attracting this colorful energy back to you. Just like what we talked about this morning with the creative expression, putting the joy and the hope out there so that it can be returned to you. You are a creature of nectar, a conduit of divine love and joy. Reversed, hummingbird may represent the inability to see the many blessings you've been given. Don't shy away from your power. You are worthy of it all. Follow the dance of the hummingbird. Journey into your sadness and know that this pain is just a thread within the fabric of joy. So that very much lines up with what we got with the hummingbird card. You know, not self-sabotaging. seeing the many blessings that you've received and being grateful for those, knowing that the more positive energy you put out, the more positive energy will return to you. Accepting that positive energy when it comes to you, accepting those blessings, being grateful for those blessings. And if you're able, sharing those blessings with others. All right. Now we'll get a Archangel Fire Oracle, and then we'll get a Mary Magdalene, and then we'll be done. It's 30:33 on the timer when I looked. It's 2:31 real time in my area. Yesterday we got Tahariel. So, you know, in a nutshell, loving yourself, accepting who you are, finding that quiet place to retreat so that you can visualize abundance in all forms. You can embrace the unlimited ideas you have, embrace your creative expression. Having open communication, not only with other people, but with your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and the Most High. Don't forget being aware that the snakes are hiding in the grass, just waiting for the opportunity. Be aware of who you share your ideas and your creative expressions with. Be cautious. We did get snake energy out here with the animal spirit cards. So just know that just because they don't present themselves as a snake doesn't mean they don't have snaky intentions. You know what I mean? Okay. Azrael, number 18. 18 is also the number of the Wandering Heart Oracle that we got. 8 and 1 makes 9. A lot of green in this card as well. Suriel on the bottom of the deck. Archangel Michael showing himself on the top of the deck. Archangel Michael's number 23. We did get 233 out here with positivity with our angel numbers. All right, let's see. So we got 18 twice. So transitions. Known as the angel of death, Azrael isn't at all as scary as his name suggests. In fact, he is perhaps the kindest and gentlest of all the archangels. Just like the mysterious cloaked guardian leading the way across a treacherous bridge in his card, he is associated with bringing comfort and reassurance in times of intense transition. Azrael not only guides souls that are crossing over, he gently separates the soul from the body at death and sets the spirit free. But he also gives guidance and reassurance to those in counseling professions. Like Raphael, Azrael can help your heart to heal in times of loss, grief, and hardship. He is especially present during a bereavement, loss of a loved one. Azrael can help you release any worries about lost loved ones and can also act as a messenger, delivering your words and wishes to those loved ones on the other side. He lets us know that there is much more to life than a purely human existence and that we still have much to learn from beyond the grave. He reminds us that rather than human beings having a spiritual existence, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. In this way, perhaps Azrael could be better described as the angel everlasting life rather than angel of death. Ask him Ask him to help you through personal transitions and to wrap his wings around anyone experiencing grief or loss. He'll help comfort and console them so they can find peace. His message: you are at a major point of transition. Release all that is currently falling away with love. Remember that after a death, there always comes rebirth. If you have pulled this card following the loss of a loved one, this message comes as validation that the angels are guiding their way safely through the veil. Many people fear change, even when they do not yet know what is on the other side of that change. Fear of the unknown, we all deal with it. We may not realize it, but in just one lifetime, we can go through many levels of transition. That transition can be subtle and almost unrecognizable. It may be joyful and exciting, or it may be unexpected and even feel a little bit terrifying. When you find yourself in a transition or facing a shift in your circumstances or energy, call on Azrael to smooth the way for you and imagine his wings lifting you above any stress as you may arrive smoothly on the other side. Staying in the energy of trust can help ensure the highest outcome for you or anyone you are supporting through a transition. So we did get trust. That's come up several times. And we've also talked several times about trusting your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, and of course the Most High, knowing that they're there, they're observing what's happening, they're offering that hope, that joy, that positivity. You know, and sometimes that's where we need to seek help the most. Knowing that, once again, kind of going back to what we talked about yesterday, even though we can't see what's going on in the background, that they are working on our behalf. Okay, now we'll get a Mary Magdalene and we'll be done for the day. It was 37:36 when I looked at the timer. Yesterday from Mary Magdalene, we got the legacy. I hope everybody has a positive, productive rest of your day today. We're about halfway through the day, I guess. It's 2:38 real time in my area. You know, and kind of going back to the daily devotion we did this morning, it very much lines up with this energy. So if you didn't see that this morning, definitely go check it out. It was a separate video. This is technically the part 2 of my daily live, but I did the devotion in a video of its own. So Ascension. Farther up is further in. Card number 22. We did get awakening energy earlier. I'm not exactly sure where that was at, but we did get that energy earlier. All right, page 22. Ascension. It's such a wild and miraculous moment when we realize that the good has never been above or beyond or fully outside of us. It's such a wild and miraculous moment when we arrive at this truth that the great, big, unsayable love that is the good is actually right here within us. In this fleeting body, in this bramble of an ego, like an indestructible rose perpetually in bloom in the center of who we are. Hello, happy Monday. There's a legend that Mary Magdalene lived in a cave in the south of France on what is referred to now as Saint Bayam, the Holy Mountain. It is said that she was lifted up 7 times a day from the cave to high above the cliffs of the Holy Mountain. Artistic depictions of this legend have Mary lifted up physically by at least 4 angels. One way I used to distance myself from Mary's humanity was to imagine that this happened for real, that Mary was actually lifted up into the air by a bevy of angels. It was such a wild and miraculous moment when I realized that these angels met Mary from within her own heart, and that the 7 times a day refers to the 7 powers of the ego, and the practice of recognizing and releasing them at least 7 times a day. For me, ascension happens by descending deeper into the truth of who we are. The angels lift us up when we forget that the good is not distant, above or beyond us, as if the good is way, way up there in heaven, too far for us to reach in these lowly human forms. The angels lift us up and remind us that the good has always been right here within and among us. The good is what we are and what we do. The good exists not on a vertical, but on the horizontal. We are eye to eye with the angels, not below or beneath them. The good is what's present right here within. Yes, heaven too. Farther up is further in. The soul voice meditation. What happens when I remember that the good is right here within me? So that that really applies to a lot of what we've already talked about today. But knowing that even if we're not in a good time at this moment, this too shall pass, and that the good, a lot of times we have to disconnect from this physical and really embrace the spiritual to be able to see the good that surrounds us. I talked about it this morning in part 1, where we get so distracted by the expectations, the goals, the dreams, the presentation, that we forget about what's really important, that self-love, self-positivity, self-care, being able to trust yourself, and then being able to jumble all that up and have it within so that we can share it with others. As humans, we really forget to do that. We forget to embrace the little things that mean so much, that really do bring so much hope and joy and positivity into our lives. But because we've kind of gotten used to it being there, we expect it to be there, we forget to be grateful for it. So, as always, be grateful for what you have, the big, the small, and the blessings yet to come. If you see a need out there today, tomorrow, next week, if there's any possible way that you can fill that need, please do so. You may not only better their day, but you could possibly change their life, and you never know the impact it could have on yours. Thanks for coming back for part 2. Be blessed, find peace, and I'll see you next time.